Hi guys, I am so excited for you to be here with me this Tuesday live. Thank you for making time with me this evening. So happy that you could make it. So if you are brand new to any of my Tuesday lives, this is kind of how they go. I start by talking about any updates, any tutorials that I have coming up, and anything new happening with my channel that I'd love to share with you. And then as soon as I'm done sharing all of that fun information, I go to a live Q&A session where I open up the floor for you to ask whatever questions you would like to ask me. And then I, to the best of my ability, will answer those questions for you. Thank you so much for being here, Samantha and Sharon. Shout out to Sharon. Woohoo! Thank you so much for being here. All right. So if I don't respond to a question, feel free to ask your questions in the chat whenever you'd like to, whenever they come up. What's going to happen is I'm going to have my moderator, which today is my husband. John is helping me. He's using my name. So if it shows up that I'm responding to you, it's him. So I'm just going to kind of give you that little hint. It's not someone else. It's my husband, John, who's helping out. So thank you so much, honey, for being a part of this and helping me. Hannah is on a little vacation, so a little jealous. Rest up, Hannah. I miss you. All right. So if I don't respond to a question, don't worry, I will get to all questions at the end of this live. And what's going to happen is John's going to take pictures and text them directly to me. So when I get to that portion, I'm not having to scroll up to the top of the live and read through the chat to find your questions. It is also super helpful if you do want to ask me a question, if you start by putting a bunch of exclamation points, because it really draws the eye to the question and it helps. I mean, if you don't do it, it's okay, but it's just super helpful. All right. I am super pumped about this week. This week, I'm starting a brand new Technique Tuesday. So that video, again, it's a brand new thing. So it got up just a little bit late today, but when we start getting it rocking and rolling, it's going to come up a little bit earlier. Technique Tuesday, I'm going to be showing you just regular crochet stitches. Every Tuesday, I'm going to release an individual crochet stitch. And what I'm doing with these tutorials is so much more than just showing you the stitch. But I try to get to the point and not add too much fluff, but definitely more than what I think other people are providing for you. What I'm doing in these Technique Tuesday videos is I am showing you a stitch, how to do the stitch. I'm providing you the level of crochet level that I think you can be to accomplish this stitch, no problem. And I also talk about a multiple stitch count requirement, which I think is super huge. That way you can take that stitch and do whatever you want with it. Like if you want to make a blanket with it, now you have the power. You have the power to make whatever you want to make, whatever size blanket or whatever size pillow or scarf or shawl or just whatever, you know. So what else I think is very, very powerful with knowing the multiple stitch count requirement is if you're one of those crazy people that like to mix and match or just have different stitches in the same project, such as you probably see this a lot, like the stitch sampler blanket or some of those really beautiful shawls or blankets that have multiple different patterns involved in the project. What they did is they took into consideration the multiple stitch count requirement to know if the stitches would work with each other or not. And then what they do is they find these stitches that have the same multiple stitch count requirement or something as such. And they know that those stitches will work with each other, and then you can have a lot of fun and go crazy and do some really, really cool things. So I'm telling you that what the multiple stitch count requirement will be for that stitch. And, oh, I didn't bring it over here. I have it over here. I think I showed this to everybody last Tuesday, but I'll show it to you again just in case you missed last Tuesday. So I created this little document. It's called Crochet Stitch. You can write the name of the stitch. I highly encourage you to actually do the stitch and just do like a little section, because honestly, playing with it, you get a whole different vibe than just looking at a picture. I was shocked. There's a couple stitches that are coming to you that I was like, you know, that looks all right. I don't know when I'd ever use it. And then I made a swatch and I'm like, I have to use this crochet stitch somewhere because it was so much fun. So make a swatch, do it, multiple stitch count requirement, so that way you can like put some of the same stitches together, group them together if you want to. And then the yarn you used, because that will affect the look, the crochet hook that you used, because that too will affect the look of the little swatch, and then the pattern. I'm going to provide all of this information to you. This right here, this sheet is free. I put it on my website under resources or under charts, so that way if you want access to it, go grab it. I made this all pretty for you, but that's because I wanted you to use it. And I printed on cardstock. That's what I did, so it was firmer, stronger, so I could staple the swatch in the swatch section. And if you want to, you could even 3-hole punch it and put it in a binder. That would be really smart. Lisa, I need to come up with a binder. Lisa is my business manager. I need a binder, a 3-ring binder, so people can put these things in the 3-ring binder. All right, so if you want to, like I said, that's free. You can go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, under resources or charts. Print off as many as you want. But every Tuesday, Technique Tuesday. So today was the lattice stitch. And I have it right here. So it kind of almost looks like the zigzag pattern, but it's super easy. I definitely labeled this an absolute beginner crochet pattern. What? Absolute beginner? Yes, because all it uses are half double crochet stitches and chains. That's it. So it looks really cool, but you don't have to go crazy to achieve a really cool look, which is something I tell myself a lot. I usually overcomplicate everything. I'll try to create a brand new pattern or a brand new project, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this really cool, crazy pattern over here, and I'm going to pair it or combine it with this really cool, crazy pattern over here, because they're going to look really cool together. And honestly, then I realized, Tiffany, you just overcomplicated everything, and nobody's going to want to do that because it's too complicated. So, I mean, honestly, it like dumbfounds me sometimes when you can just take something super, super simple, and it's so much fun. It's beautiful. And do something with it. So I encourage you to make the lattice stitch. After this live, if you haven't checked that out, I literally just released it because, again, we're a little late on releasing, but we're getting there. So after this live, go check out the lattice crochet stitch. All right, so this Friday, it's coming. I'm so excited. And you're like, Tiffany, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's coming? That right there. Let me get it. Oh, the Popsicle baby blanket is ready. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. It's so much fun. I honestly, every time I look at this blanket, I smile. I smile. I can't help it. It is just so pretty, and it reminds me of summer. Everything about this blanket screams summer to me. It makes me think of popsicles when I was a kid, when my kids were littles, when they were babies and it was hot outside, and I would be so excited to give them a popsicle. This is what they look like. And it just, oh, the summer vibes, man, whether it's laying on the floor or covering up baby or like a toddler even. Make it whatever size you want in the pattern that I'm going to be providing for you. I did the math. I worked up a chart. And in this chart, I'm going to do this. Oh, there we go. Display it a little bit like that. There we go. So in the chart that I'm going to have included in the pattern for this Popsicle baby blanket, I will include the sizes of all the blankets that I did math for. I think there's like 7. I did receiving blanket. Oh, I have it right here. I'm such a dork. Okay. I did receiving blanket, crib blanket, a lapgan, a small throw blanket, large throw blanket, a twin, full, queen, and king, which I know it's kind of ridiculous, but somebody might want to make a king-sized blanket. You know, you never know. You never know. Okay, the next thing I have is what dimensions that blanket falls within, because I get a lot of people saying, well, Tiffany, what's a receiving size blanket dimension? You know, how big is that? Or how big is your small throw blanket? So I put in the dimensions, so blanket, the dimensions. Next column over is the foundation row chain count. So I tell you how many chains to count in your foundation row. Then I tell you how many rows you're going to need to make that dimension blanket. I go even further by telling you approximately how much yarn you're going to need to accomplish that blanket using the same size yarn that I use and the same size crochet hook that I use, because that is the swatch that I worked up to give me all of the information. If you use a different size yarn or a different size crochet hook than what I used in this pattern, the chart does not work. It does not apply. Okay, so be very aware of that. Though I did make a video already a long time ago. You can find it under my crochet basics playlists, or just scroll through my channel, where I show you how many chains to make your blanket or how big to make your blanket. It helps you to adjust the sizes to whatever you want using whatever you're using. All right, and then I go even, okay, so the amount of yarn approximate, because again, some people, their tension is tighter, some people's tension is looser. So I got you in the ballpark though, where it should apply. I gave you the yards, the meters, the grams, and the ounces, depending on where you live in the world. That's how you decipher your yarn amounts. And I even went a little bit further for those of you who have trouble with math and you're like, well, you gave me all of the yards, but I can't figure out how many skeins I'm going to need. If you're using the exact same yarn that I am, I told you how many skeins you're going to need to make that size blanket. Okay, I helped you out, but this does not apply if you buy or want to use a different type of yarn, or, you know, same size, but different type may have a different amount involved in their ball or skein or hank, whatever it is that you're using. So it has to be the same yarn that I used if you want to know the exact amount of skeins to buy. Otherwise, if you're good at math, just take how much yarn I tell you and divide that by how many yards or meters or grams or ounces are in the skein that you want to use. Okay, so cool. Better yet, I did all of this work, all of this math, and the pattern is going to be free. As soon as it's ready, it's not quite ready yet, but as soon as it's ready, it's going to be on my website, crochetwithtiffany.com. It's just easier for me to upload things there and get it to you. So keep popping over there. As soon as it's ready, it's going to be up there. Now, okay, I'm going to pause for a second. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. I'm so happy that you were able to make it on this busy Tuesday evening and hang out with me. Thank you so much for your time and chilling with me. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Oh, Sharanya, you're in the chat. Hi, welcome. Kathy, I'm so excited for you to be here. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for making it. Heather, welcome. I see that you're doing a whole lot of chat. Okay, again, just a quick reminder, Hannah's not here today. She is on vacation. But if you see Crochet with Tiffany Hansen, that is my husband. He is under my account right now. It's John. So hi, John. Thank you so much for helping me. So that's who it is. It's not some scammer trying to like talk to you. It's my husband. He's helping me moderate tonight. So he's super awesome. Thank you so much, babe. All right. So the materials that I use to make this blanket are, the yarn is Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton Sparkle yarn in the color Pretties Please. It's a size 3 weight yarn, or DK lightweight yarn. I don't have the other specs on it. If you look up that yarn, it's located at Hobby Lobby, but if you look up that yarn, you can find exactly how many yards and blah, blah, blah in there. But again, with each blanket, I told you how many yards are in the whole blanket. So that is the yarn that I used. I love it. It's 100% cotton. Well, no, it's not. It's 97% cotton, 3% the metallic sparkles. Honestly, some people worry that it's scratchy. I don't think it's scratchy at all. What I love about it being 100% cotton is it gives me peace of mind when it comes to washing instructions. I know that it's going to be really easy to take care of, to clean it, to wash it. So, and that's super, super important, especially if it's a blanket for a kid. We all know. We all know. All right, the crochet hook that I used was an H8 5mm crochet hook. It really is my go-to. I use this thing for the size crochet hook for most of my projects. A pair of scissors and a yarn needle. Pair of scissors really to attach more yarn. I use the invisible knot method, which I do show in the video, because for anyone who's seeing one of my videos for the first time ever, I want to make sure that that trick is in there for you. So it's just super fast, super easy way to attach more yarn to your project and keep going. And then the yarn needle to weave in the ends. Now, something super important for me to point out to you, this blanket does not have a border. I did that for 2 reasons. Maybe 3 reasons. One, I honestly think it looks beautiful without a border. Some people don't think a blanket is complete unless it has a border. And if you're one of those people, that's cool. That's totally cool. So I did not add a border to this blanket. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to leave, there's 3 reasons. So 1, it looks beautiful without a border. 2, I really wanted to leave it open-ended for you to choose whatever border that you really want to add to the blanket. Some people, they like the border that I suggest, but it may be too complicated, or it may just not be what you like something else, or you don't really like the border that I picked, which is totally fine. So I wanted to leave it open-ended for you to pick whatever border that you may want to add to this blanket. 3, I will be adding a border to this blanket in the near future. Probably next month you will see the border video. So I know at the end of this video, I will say, if you would like to see the border, you can click on this video. That video doesn't exist yet. Okay, so bear with me. It will in the future, when this video is like a year, 2 year, 3 years old, there will be a border video that will be connected to it. But right now, that video does not exist yet. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I look for the border to this blanket next month. Okay, so just be prepared for that. I'm still trying to figure out, 1, what border I want to put on this, and 2, I want to figure out what color. Maybe you can help me out. Oh, I'm gonna throw this back at you guys. Okay, you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me. Now, if you can't think of it now, that's totally fine. As soon as we're done with the live, you can come back to this video and put something in the comment section. What color would you suggest be the border to this blanket? I feel like Vanna White right now. This blanket. What color? What color? I'm kind of at a loss. Like, part of me wants to go either black or white just to frame it, because it is so pretty. I really want the focal point of the blanket to be the bright, bold inner body of the blanket. The stitch itself too is super pretty. Like, it holds its own. The blanket holds its own. It doesn't need a border. But if I'm going to add a border, I don't want the border to compete with the inner body of the blanket. So I was thinking like a black or white, maybe a gray, like one of those anti-colors. That way it like sucks your eye into the inner body. I'm still playing with it in my head. So let me know. I would be completely open to any suggestions that you may have. And again, like I said, if something comes to you like in the middle of the night or tomorrow and you're like, oh, I need to respond to Tiffany and tell her this color, you can always come back to this video and say something in the comment section. All right, love it. Okay, so, oh, the other thing that I'm super excited about, I've kind of had crochet fever this last week where I am just pumped full of energy. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the sun outside, the heat, the fact that my kids are home and I can sleep in a little bit. I don't know, but I just became a crochet fiend. And these patterns right now I created. I still need to get the pattern worked up and I still need to make a tutorial for this, but this is not going to be one of my main tutorials. It's probably going to be one of those sneaky tutorials that I squeeze in before the 4th of July because I got a 4th of July placemat. And when this tutorial is getting ready to come up, then I'll talk more about the materials and a Tuesday live. I just wanted to kind of tease you a little bit with it. So I got this American flag placemat. I did like quick makes, quick, something, because a lot of my tutorials have been like heavy. They've been heavy, just big projects, super cool, super cute, awesome projects, just heavy, right? So I wanted some quick things. And then I made a coaster. It's really bright. Hey, Michelle, welcome. Thank you for, aw. I appreciate you, Michelle. So this coaster I thought was a lot of fun. It kind of looked like the fireworks. I wanted to have a little fun, you know, do something fast, something easy, something fun. So these two tutorials I'm going to try to whip up well before the 4th of July, so you have enough time to make them if you would like to. But they're so much fun. Just, you know, those quick, easy, fun projects. I feel like people during the summer, I've heard this actually multiple times. I've heard it from a couple people in the Crafters Gathering, which, by the way, the Crafters Gathering is amazing. If you are on the fence about joining my membership, the Crafters Gathering, just do it because we have so much fun over there. Just the conversation is great. But it's not just the conversation. It's really cool having that community feel, that feeling like I'm hanging out with you. Actually, like I see you and you're talking to me. I'm not just talking at you. You're talking back to me and I'm listening and I'm actually like registering, you know, thinking and you know, like taking in what you're saying and helping, lots and lots of helping, which is so cool. And the other thing that has been a really big deal is just the sense of community and being there for each other, which it's so amazing. It's so amazing. So if you're on the fence with the Crafters Gathering, give it a try. Try it for a month. See what you think about it. And if it's not your cup of tea, then that's cool. That's cool. But I feel, and ladies, if you're in here, Sharon, I see you, and Michelle, I see you, and I know Sharanya, you were in here. I saw you. I mean, when you get into the Crafters Gathering, it's just like, it's a really, really cool experience. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, shout it out. PJ! If you enjoy the Crafters Gathering, guys, say something in the chat. I would love for you to say something. Michelle, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I am done talking about this week. Again, recap real quick. Tuesday techniques, or Technique Tuesday. After this live, go check out my Lattice Stitch. I think you'll like it. 2, where'd you go? Popsicle baby blanket. You've got to try it. It's so fun. Pattern should be on my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, tomorrow or Thursday. So pop on over there and get it so you're ready to crochet with me on Friday when that tutorial goes live. 4th of July stuff, super pumped, super excited. And again, I'm just having so much fun with crochet right now. I'm just full of this fun, crazy crochet mojo energy, and I'm just having a blast with it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into those questions. If you are on my Instagram, I already have some questions loaded up because I asked you guys early to give me some questions. I also have a question from Sylvia. I hope you could make it, Sylvia. She emailed me a question, and I'm going to try to answer it to the best of my ability, but I may have the way I can answer it here on this live, the way my camera is set up and everything, it may be better if I show you in a tutorial, just so I have better camera angles and can be more specific with stuff. And then, of course, if you ask me a question in the chat, John has already sent me over some questions, and I will get straight to those. And if you asked a lot of questions, I really appreciate that, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's fair for everybody. I'm going to try to get to everybody first before I answer another, like a second question for you, just to make sure I can get to everybody. All right, let's get this party started. Ah! You guys rock. You guys rock. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Yes, I do. Thank you. I have the IG questions already. All right, life in Janie's crochet world. Welcome, lady. I'm so happy to have you here. Tiffany, what is the most difficult project you have ever done? Ooh. That one's going to take me some time to think about, actually. Okay. Most difficult project I have ever done. There was a car. I made it was like a vintage truck as a baby gift for a really good friend of mine, a dear friend from high school, a baby shower, you know. I went to baby shower. She had a little boy, and I made him this vintage looking truck, crochet truck. And I got the pattern off of Etsy, I believe, Pinterest or Etsy. I had to pay for it. But it was like a cartoon truck with tons of detail. I mean, tons of detail. I mean, this thing had a horn, you know, those honk honk horn things that I had to crochet, you know, like, and it was like all the pieces to it and the bumpers and like, oh my gosh. And it took me a long time, but honestly, it was so worth it because it turned out so cool. Like I've only done one of them because there's so much detail. But that was probably the most difficult one I've done just because of the detail. I kind of try to stay in my realm of crochet abilities. So, and then I crochet things that I love to crochet. I don't necessarily push myself. I could. There's a lot of things that I'm capable of doing, but I would almost rather make 10 stuffed animals than an extremely delicate, dainty tablecloth. You know what I'm saying? I've wanted to make some beautiful pieces for my dad because I learned how to crochet from his mom. So for my dad, anything that I do that's crochet related is extremely personal and sentimental to him because I learned how to crochet from his mom. So I wanted to make something very delicate and fancy schmancy for him. But honestly, I just kind of stick to what I love. So I haven't had to do anything too incredibly difficult. But yeah, it's usually blankets with some crazy detail. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, Linda, welcome, Linda. Okay, the whole blanket is 3-ply. Do I need a bigger hook? She's saying her blanket keeps coming out tiny. Oh boy. 3-ply. Hold 1 second. I want to get my chart so I know. You can't see me. line here. Oh, okay. And a back. Oh dear. Okay, Linda. I have myself a little chart here that helps me to identify what a 3-ply yarn is. My chart, if we are communicating the same terms, says that a 3-ply yarn is a lace or a 0 fingering thread yarn. Wow, you've got to be working up a blanket that has a lot of detail if somebody is asking you to use that yarn, or it's extremely lacy where it almost feels like a spider web, almost, you know, just like super dainty, super lacy. That's the only thing I can think of if you're working up a 3-ply yarn. Now, if you meant to say a 3-weight yarn, which is a DK light worsted 8-ply yarn, a size 3-weight yarn, it's on the thinner side. It's thinner than a 4, obviously, but a size 3. What I would do if your blanket keeps coming out super tiny is I would either increase the crochet hook size, make the crochet hook bigger, or I would figure out the dimensions of the blanket. I have a video on this. It's again, making your blanket to size. Can I pop it? Let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick. So basically what you do in this video is I show you how to take whatever blanket you want to make, and taking the multiple chain count requirement, and I show you how to make whatever blanket you want, whatever size blanket you want, with whatever materials you want to use. I just show you how to adjust that. Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick and pop it in the chat for you. I made it a long time ago when I was getting a lot of people. I was making blanket videos, and I'd get a lot of people asking me how to make the blanket that I was making with a different sized yarn. And I'm like, I can't. Wait, was it that? Different size yarn, or they wanted to make the blanket that I wanted to make, but in a different size. And I was like, I could tell you, but I'd rather show you. That way I empower you for the future. Here it is. Because it's kind of that whole concept of you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Samantha, you're lurking. Let's see if that'll work. Oh, it worked. Aha! Kazaa. All right, so in the chat, I just put the video on how to figure out what's the name of the video? How big to make your blanket, how many chains to make. I really tried to be as like specific in what this video taught you in the description as I could. Hopefully that helps you out. I really, really hope, Linda, that helps. All right, next question. Samantha, can we use mandala yarn for this project? You absolutely can. Use whatever you want. It's your blanket. If you want the chart to work, the mandala needs to be a size 3-weight yarn. Okay. If it's anything different, then the chart won't work. But if the mandala you are wanting to use is a size 3-weight yarn, DK, lightweight yarn, yeah, absolutely. Even if you wanted to use a thicker yarn, like a size 4-weight yarn, you could still make this blanket, no problem. The chart, though, would not apply. Your blanket would turn out bigger, if you used the same chart using a bigger yarn, your blanket would turn out bigger than, like all the dimensions would be bigger than what I tell you. All right, next question. Again, if you are asking me questions, it's super helpful if you start by putting a bunch of question marks, which I've seen a lot of people do. Thank you so much for doing that. It just, again, draws the eye to the question. And then my husband, John, who is in the chat right now, thank you so much, babe. He will take a picture and send it to me so I can get your question answered. Heather, welcome, Heather. What was your very first crochet project that got you hooked? Blankets. I made blankets forever when I started out. That was my big project because I basically taught myself. My grandmother, she got me started, but she didn't get me further than that. Like, she got me started, she got me interested, she got me loving crochet, and it calmed me down and got me to sit still, which was great for me because it was like it gave me something to do, and I was always bored. And so I was just instantly into it, to the point where I taught myself other stitches and I taught myself how to do things. But for the longest time, I stuck with blankets. I made everybody in the family a blanket. I'm actually wondering if I may need to revisit that. I may need to revisit that. But yeah, stuck with blankets for a really long time. Cute story. I actually made my husband a blanket for his high school graduation. We still have it. It's in really sad, sorry shape. But yeah. So it really was like I loved that. That was great. Great for therapy, you know, just not that I necessarily need, but it was great woo-saw, relaxing thing to do. It wasn't until everyone started having kids that I started making stuffed animals, and I wanted to start making baby things, right? And then people were like, Tiffany, you could sell those things. And then, of course, the bug bit, and I was like, I could make money doing this, you know, and then, okay. And then I started making all sorts of things and loving it, getting a lot of positive feedback. And then everything is history. You know, you start getting people putting thoughts in your ears of make this, make that, you should do this, you should do that. And then Pinterest was not helpful whatsoever. Had a huge love-hate relationship with Pinterest for years. Like, I remember, like, when somebody first told me about Pinterest, and I was like, interesting, okay. And then, like, I have probably 10,000 pins. There's no way I could possibly ever get to most of those projects, but I'm like, oh, I want to make this, I want to make that. That is so cool, awesome, I love that. You know, it honestly does nothing but make me feel like I don't have enough time. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, done with those questions. Let me shoot over to Instagram real quick. All right. I'm hoping my Instagram peeps are able to make it tonight, or at least catch the replay. So here a Yule 000. Sorry if I butchered that. For filet crochet, how do you know how many stitches you start with? That is a great question. I plan on actually addressing filet with my intermediate stitch series. I believe, just thinking to myself, and I could be very, it's either you skip either one or you skip 2 stitches between each fillet, because you make enough space for there to be a significant hole there that you need to fill. So if it's you skip 1 stitch, then you're going to want a multiple of 2 plus 1 for your current stitch, the skip stitch, and then the 1, or it'd be 3 stitches, then plus whatever you want your turning chain to be, so plus 2. So I guess it'd be 3, a multiple of 3 plus 2. If it's 2 skipped stitches, then it would be a multiple of 4 plus 2. If you're catching my thought process right now. But like I said, I'm going to actually talk about filet in the intermediate stitch series. There's like 9 videos. I broke down all the stitches I wanted to share with you for the intermediate category. And holy cow, guys, do I have it here? If it's not readily available, then I'll wait. I don't want to waste too much time. No, I probably have it in the hallway. But yeah, there's a lot of different stitches that I want to talk about, but I want to give each stitch the respect it deserves, because when you come to intermediate stitches, it's not just one stitch. Generally, there's a lot going on to make that one stitch happen. So yeah, it'll be better explained in that video. All right, so next question. Darlener 6597, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Suggestions on where to find projects for several skeins of Red Heart 4-ply leftover yarn. So again, 4-ply is a size 1. If you guys are getting the plies right, size 4-ply is a size 5 weight. Blech. Okay, size 4-ply is a size 1 weight yarn, fingering, sock, baby, super fine. Okay, super thin, super fine. Any suggestions, you guys? If somebody has some Red Heart 4-ply or size 1 sock yarn, projects, several skeins of it, leftover yarn. What would you do with that? So I'm going to actually ask 2 questions in regard to this, just in case, because I want to make sure if people know the term or not. I just want to cover my bases. So a size 4-ply, size 1 weight yarn, what projects would you do with that? And then let's go ahead and shift gears. A size 4 weight yarn, if that's what you mean, because that's a regular generic Red Heart yarn. Most of Red Heart yarn is a size 4 weight. And you have a bunch of leftovers. You could make a really fun scrap blanket. That would be cool. You could make a stuffed animal that's like a scrap stuffed animal, which those are pretty cool. Projects that have leftover yarn that you want to just make little bitties. You could make little pillow. You could do a pillow. What do you guys think? Little bitty projects, maybe? What would you do? Oh, you could do little granny squares. You could do individual granny squares with your colors left over, and then just join those granny squares together. That could be a lot of fun. You could do that. All right, other questions? All right, so the questions I have here, they're very, very generic questions that, I mean, they're really up to the person, so I don't think it really applies to me. Samantha, you mentioned, how big should a hat be for a tall man? And I do have a chart for that to help you out. And I think if I don't have it up, so my goal is to create a bunch of charts for everyone to reference on my website. So that way, if you ever have any questions about size to make something, or that one could work. If you ever just have questions about how big to make something, that I just want to be that reference for you, right? So I get a lot of my charts from Pinterest, or I Google it, and I look for charts. I say beanie sizing chart or scarf sizing chart. Or dimensions. Those are the like magic words. Diagram, that can help. Okay, so an adult large I have here in this hat sizing chart. So adult large, the hat circumference all the way around the head is 22 inches. If you were to lay it flat, like lay the beanie flat. It would need to be 11 inches wide and height. So keep making row after row until your beanie, stop the beanie at 9 inches. So from the top of the crown of the beanie to the bottom needs to be 9 inches. So what I would probably do, because the closing part of the beanie is usually probably 3 inches, I would make a 6-inch width and then close. Or better yet, if you aren't really sure, you could start at the crown and work the crown, make it bigger, bigger, bigger until you have the width that you want, and then just keep working down. So keep expanding until you get the width that you want and then work down. Now I do have another beanie chart that has like, hat circumference. Okay, so yeah. So hat circumference around the head. So you want the diameter, which is, diameter would be 2 pi. 2 pi is, now we're getting into math. Diameter of a circle, it's like 2 pi. So, no. Two pi r is the radius. Oh, I'm doing it backwards. So I would take the circumference and I'd divide it by 2, and that would give me the diameter. I'm overcomplicating this. Sorry, it's late on a Tuesday. So it would be 22 divided by 2, so 11 inches, which is what we have the hat width at. So I would literally keep expanding the crown of the head until I took a measuring tape and measured across, and it was 11 inches, and then I'd start working down. Now that was a lot of information. I apologize. But Samantha, if you want a large adult beanie, that is probably what you're going to try to achieve for it to fit. All right. That is it for Instagram. Go back to questions here. Melissa, what is your favorite brand of crochet hook? Oh, I love this question. I really like Boye, B-O-Y-E. It's like the cheapest crochet hook that you could get. Let's see if it, B-O-Y-E, Boye. I also favor the sleek, slender aluminum crochet hook. Those are my favorite. So even if it's not necessarily Boye, if it's one of those generic off brands that they sell on Amazon, those work too. I have lots of those as well. But this is the crochet hook, that type of crochet hook in all sizes, just that really sleek, slender aluminum crochet hook. Those are my favorite to use. And they just so happen to be like the cheapest ones. I know there's some people out there that really like the really cool, expensive one, the Furls, the Susan Bates, the Clovers. There's some really fancy, guys, help me out in the chat. There's some fancy ones. Hi, Jody. So glad that you could make it, girl. There's some really fancy crochet hooks out there that people just love, and they're expensive, but they can be totally worth it if you need that ergonomic crochet handle and stuff. I just don't. Awesome. Okay. Oh, Michelle, you asked a question. What is the softest 100% cotton yarn? Lisa, are you in the chat? Are you here, Lisa? Oh, PJ, you might know too. PJ, what do you think? Oh, that's it. That's it. The Prim. Yes, Prim. Thank you so much for helping out with that one, Lisa. Gosh, I really like I really honestly really like the Hobby Lobby cakes, the cotton. Here I got. I really hope I don't knock anything over. Okay, so these ones I really like a lot. And they're super, super soft. Yarn Bees Sugar Wheel Cotton. This is 100% cotton, and it is super, super soft. Would love, love, love to work with this. It's nothing like Lily Sugar and Cream. Lily Sugar and Cream is awesome for washcloths, but it is rough, and it does have a lot of friction, and it can be a little difficult to work certain projects with. This, not so much. This is super, super soft. I also really like Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Blend. This right here is a 50% cotton, 50% polyester. So it's not a 100% cotton, but it is also super soft. It's what I use to make my Tiffany top. So I really, wow, that is really bright. Don't be so harsh, lights. Don't be so harsh. But it feels really, really good to wear this. But so with this. So with this. I love this. Okay, so that helps. Hopefully that helps you out, Michelle. I know that you're making a bunch of Tiffany tops, which I think is super awesome. Okay, then I had a question from Sylvia. She emailed me about the gauges. Dude. Don't fall. Don't fall. The light falls on me. It'll be all right. So gauges. And it's a little difficult for me to do on a video. I told her I would do it on this video to explain it to her. But honestly, I do want to make a video so I can have like it laying down and I can show my hands doing my thing and explain it even more on how to use these things. But, and I don't often use these things. I just use a ruler, but you can use these. So for like this guy right here, let me see here. If you've ever seen one of these, they got these indents in them. I have crochet hooks that don't have sizes, or you can, some like furls I've seen, I've bought where there's, they may have been more old school, not so much new, where now they put the size or letter on the actual front of the crochet hook. But I've seen them just, mine, the one that I have is just, it's just wood, just nothing on it. It's just wood. And so if you come across a crochet hook and you don't know what size it is, this would be awesome, because what you do is you just go and you would place your crochet hook in the hole until you find a really good fit. Doesn't fit at all, doesn't fit at all, obviously doesn't fit, obviously too big. This right here, I know it says H8 5mm crochet hook. And if I go to the H8 5mm crochet hook, it's a really nice fit. See how it just fits right in there? I is a little big. There's a little gap right there. This one, there's definitely a gap right there. So, gap. But this one, there's no gap. It actually gets stuck a little bit. So that is why you would use this tool. If you, maybe I've also run across this too. I have crochet hooks that just say a letter. That's it. I have like my G crochet hook. There's no numbers. So if somebody were to tell me you need a 4mm crochet hook or a 4.25mm crochet hook, I'd be like, I don't know what letter it is. What letter is it? You know, like, and then I would do this thingy and find out which size it is. Okay, so if you are working with this, Sylvia, got 6 minutes. I'm watching the clock, babe. I'm watching the clock. Okay. If All right. So if you have one of these cool things, this square is awesome to help you to find out how many stitches are in a row and how many rows are in the section. And what you would do is you would count, okay, I have 10 stitches in a 4-inch section. So if I have 10 stitches with 4 inches, and I want to make a blanket that's 40 inches because I'm making a receiving size blanket, and I know there's 10 stitches and 4. That means 10 times, wait, there's 40 stitches, 10. I would need to do, guys, it's late. My brain does not want to work. Oh my gosh. Okay. So 10 times 10, so 100. I'd need to make 100 stitches in order to make that receiving size blanket. Okay, because 40 divided by 4 is 10. So 10 times 10 stitches is 100. And I know that probably just freaked out a whole bunch of people that already hate math. I'm sorry. And then how many rows here? If there are 10 rows in a 4-inch section, 10 rows, 4 inches, and I know I want to make a 40-inch long receiving blanket, then I know that I'll need to make 100 rows. So 100 stitches, 100 rows to accomplish the blanket. So that's what's really cool about this ruler gauge thing. But what are these? Does anybody know? Anybody want to tell me? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Somebody knows before I spill. Who knows? Do you know? What are these for? PJ, I'm wondering if you know. Thank you so much. Crochet holes. Yes, they are for, hint, hint, they are for crochet hooks or stitches. Needles, hooks and needle size chart. Yes. Yes, Samantha, figuring out what size crochet hook you're going to need. Very good. So I wanted to have like an example. So this is something I just made, right? This was the lattice crochet stitch. So what I would do, and this works, what I would do is I would take these holes and I'd place them over the stitch, and I'd find the hole where the stitch would fit. And that will tell me what crochet hook I need to actually make that size stitch. Now, again, I wanted to like, it's hard to like show you like this. It doesn't make any sense. I want to actually like lay it down and show you there. The other way that people do, a lot of people use these for knitting needles, like you were mentioning. I think it was Michelle, I think you said knitting. You put the knitting needle in here, kind of like we did here, to find what size the crochet hook would be. You would use these for knitting needles instead of crochet hooks. Absolutely. But it also would apply to crochet hooks. So I find the H8 5mm. Where are you? There you are. Okay. And once I get the hook through, the H8, it fits snug, perfect. It tells you what crochet hook size it is. But it does also help you to place this on some work and identify, if you're just looking at the work, which crochet hook was used to make that. And you'll see that a lot with like lace, or if you get real itty bitty teeny tiny, if you place that on some stitches, it can help guide you. So, but again, that'll be a lot easier to explain in a video. All right, guys, it is now 8 o'clock. I've had a blast with you. I really hope that you've enjoyed tonight's Tuesday Live. If you had a lot of fun, this is basically what we do in our crafters gathering, except for you get to be more involved. You get to talk to me, and we just kind of like chill and hang out and have the best time twice a week on top of these Tuesday Lives. So I really think that it would be awesome if you could give it a try. If not, that's cool too. For all of you of my amazing crafters gatherers who made it in the chat today, you guys are rock stars. I so enjoy seeing your amazing names in the chat and seeing that you were able to make it and hang out with me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have fun. Lots more to talk about. All right, guys. I'm really excited about my Tuesday techniques. Again, right after this video, go take a peek at that. Friday's video is going to be amazing. Please watch that. Please take a peek at that. I'll see you guys next Tuesday with another amazing Tuesday Live. But I hope you have a great week. Mwah! See you guys with the next one. Bye.